Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Colourpop No Filter Foundation, and I'm also going to be doing a little review on the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to start off, I hope this is the right shade. I just picked it out online and that's not always the best way to do it, but that's what we're going with. So I have the shade Fair 15, and let's hope this works. I'm going to pull my hair back. And no, I'm not going to use a primer with this because I don't think it's like an actual review of the foundation if you put a primer underneath it. I guess it does blend pretty well down into my neck. It's just different from this side of my face to this one. A little more. And I don't use a lot of concealer, so I'm just gonna take a little bit and to see how much I need, because I've never used this before. Okay, that looks really nice. It really brightened up my under eyes. I'm going to do my other eye. Just take a little bit of, just take a really small amount, because that is really, really wide. Just going to blend it out. I'm really trying to make sure that my concealer blends into my foundation. I don't want it to look like they're two different colors, even though they are, and it's like they don't blend well together, because they are the same collection, so I assume you're supposed to use them together. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. As I said before, my face is really dry, so I see a lot of dry patches, even though I did use the Belief Aqua Bomb. Other than that, though, it looks really nice. It covered up a lot of the redness on my nose, and I didn't even use concealer down my nose. So I'm going to go ahead and set it with the Stay Matte Powder in Transparent from Rimmel. And I'm just going to take a little brush and swirl her in there and just pat my face with it. I don't want to use a whole lot because my face is already so dry from where it was sunburnt and it's peeling. So I'm really just going to try to set the concealer and just dust it along the rest of my face and down my neck. Alright, and I use just a Wet n Wild brush for that. Go ahead and put the lid back on this, if I don't drop it. And I'm actually going to go ahead and do my bronzer. I'm going to put on the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. And the blush I'm using today is the Wet n Wild. It's from, I don't remember what the collection's called, but it's the one with the birds. This one is called the Don't Flutter Yourself. And I'm just going to go in with a, let me find the right one. This is a Morphe brush. It's from the Gilded collection. It's the Y1. I'm just going to swirl it in there. Make my fishy face and just bronze her up. I'm really going to make sure that all the products I apply on top of the foundation really apply nicely and it doesn't look cakey and it doesn't look like I've used way too much, because I'm going in with a light hand on all these, like I normally would. bronzer looks nice. Next, I'm just going to go in with that Wet n Wild blush. I'm going to be using a e.l.f. brush. It doesn't have a name on it, it's just a white one. I'm just going to go in there and just apply this to the apples of my cheeks. Sometimes it's easier just to smile. And I'm not going to be using a highlighter either because this blush here, it has like a sheen. It's not like shimmery or glittery, but it has a really nice sheen. And if I apply it like right here on the apples of my cheeks and kind of brush it like upward, like this here, it looks like I have a slight highlight on, if you can kind of tell. I think it's really pretty. And honestly, I kind of take it up to where the highlighter would be. I kind of just brush it upward. A little on the nose. Okay. Look at her. It all looks really nice. I'm really liking how it's turning out. Of course, other than the dry patches on my nose that are not attractive. I really like it. Okay. I'm next going to go into the Colourpop eyeshadow palette. Lost my train of thought there. It's the I Think I Love You pressed palette. Right. I'm just going to do a simple look. I'm not going out tonight or nothing, so just going to keep it really easy and really simple. So I'm first going to go in with the shade. I believe if it's right here in the palette, it's the same place on the back of the palette. Those always confuse me, but I think this one is called My Treat. It's just this really light neutral shade right here. I'm just going to take a Real Techniques brush. It is the Deluxe Crease brush. It's just a really thick, it's not really flat. It's kind of like dome shape, but it's not like tapered at the top. Just going in with it, tapping it off. I'm just going to blend this into my crease. And doing the same thing on the other eye. Okay. Next I'm going to go into the shade, I believe it's Fancy Face. It is this one right here, just a little bit warmer than the one we went into at first. And I'm just going to work it right into the kind of more like the outer crease and then barely work it in. And kind of leave it on that outer third too, part of my eye. Doing the same on this side. And the key to eyeshadow really is just blending and blending and blending. Normally you can just about blend something to perfection. Okay, and I'm going to grab a different brush. Probably this one right here. It's also from the Gilded Collection. It's the Y15 from Morphe. And I think I'm going to go in with this really dark brown right here at the bottom. And that one is called Screw It. I'm just going to barely dip my brush in that and tap it off. And really just work this right here out in the outer edge. Just leaving it right there and kind of not up in the crease, but right on the top of the eyelid. Trying to keep it out of the crease just to build a little dimension. Same thing on the other eye. Staying out on the bottom of the eyelid and then working it up into the top of the eyelid. Alright, and I think I'm just going to go in with one really simple shimmer shade. I believe I'm going to use this one right here. It's really pretty. It's almost like, you can't really tell because these lights, but it honestly looks like a baby pink to me. And I believe that one's called Rowdy. And I'm going to use it without MAC Fix Plus first. And then I'm going to go in with it if it needs it. I'm just going to take my brush and just go into it. Tap it off. And I'm just going to put it, I'm not going to cut my crease, but I'm going to kind of take this brush because it's almost flat at the top and just like follow where the crease would be. And just take it from the inner corner to just about right at the middle. Just pat it on there. And that's actually really pretty without MAC Fix Plus. I'm going to do the same thing on the other eye, and then I'll decide if I want a little extra. Probably not though, because like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just kind of cutting the crease with this eyeshadow brush, just following where that would be. Making sure I get the inner corner. And it's right about to the middle where I started, blending that really dark shade. I think that looks really, really pretty. Okay, I'm just going to leave it like that, and then I'm going to go back into the brush that I used with the really light shade, and instead of using the really dark shade, not the really light one, the really dark one that I used before last. And I'm going to go back into that second shade and just tap it off, and that one's called Fancy Face, and I'm just going to take that really light brown shade and just try to make sure there's no, make sure you can't see a line where I placed the two eyeshadows. Make sure there's no harsh edges. Just blend them away. Okay, and the same thing with the other eye. Alright, and last but not least, I'm going to take this little flat brush from e.l.f. It's called just the eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go in, I think with that same color that I used to buff out the edges, and just barely dip it in there. And run this along my lower lash line. And kind of attach it to the outer part. Make it just really nice and natural. Same thing for this eye. And I'm sorry if it's annoying that you can kind of see the mirror. My table's kind of a lot lower than I sit, so if I lean down, you wouldn't really be able to see me, so I'm kind of just holding it up where I am to make everything a little more cohesive. And just attaching that same eyeshadow to the outer edge. Alright. Next, I'm going to go in with some mascara. I'm trying not to make a very, very ugly mascara face. This mascara is bomb, but I have to be really, really careful with it because if I'm not, I don't know what the brush is made out of, the really spiky part that you use for your eyelashes, but it's really, really pokey, and if I'm not careful, I'll jab myself in the eye, and it really, really hurts. It's a lot harder than my other ones that I have. Okay, I'm going to do another look at my foundation. I don't know if you guys can see. I think it looks really nice. I'm not going to be able to do a wear test because it's like 9 o'clock already where I'm from, so I really don't have any plans after this. I'm going to wash this makeup off and go to bed. But from first glance, after putting it on and having everything on top of it, everything blended really nicely. I think it looks really nice. The concealer did a great job as well, other than if you have really dry skin, I don't know if your skin would be as dry as mine is because I was sunburnt, but if you have really dry skin and a lot of flaky patches, or dry patches, not flaky patches, I don't know if you would like it just because it really does cling to those, and I can tell where I have been sunburnt on my nose and it's really dry. I can see every line on it, and right here on my nose already, and I can blend those back out, but again, I've been filming for 20 minutes, so it's already doing that after 20 minutes. And I normally don't have dry skin. I have pretty normal, oily in the T-zone occasionally, just depending seasons and stuff, but this looks really dry. If you guys have dry skin, I don't know if I would recommend it to you just because of what it looks like on me. But other than that, I think somebody with normal to oily skin would like it, because it seems like my face it looks really not dry to me, but it looks natural, like a semi-matte. Other than this area, and especially around my nose, right in here and right on the bridge.